Okay, I'm sharing the screen right now and we'll begin the webinar. My name is Angelo. I'm the host for the day, and let's enjoy today's webinar. 1 second just to get the screens up and running. You should be seeing it in a few seconds. Okay, just remove that and we are okay to start. So here is the title for today's webinar. I hope everyone can see it. Triple trend strategy for binary options. Please take a few seconds to read the disclaimer here. It is important always, whenever trading, trade with money you can afford to put the risk down for. It is no guarantee ever that any strategy or indicator or trading will be successful. So never trade with money you can't afford the risk of. So, okay, let's continue now and stay in. As mentioned, there will be questions answered at the end of the webinar. So if you have any questions at all, keep them coming through. Our moderators that will be sharing a link for the next webinar as well on the chat will be answering some questions. They'll be collecting more of them as well for me to answer at the end of the webinar. So enjoy the webinar and we are starting. Now, first thing we can take a look at is the actual setup. How we're going to set up this indicator strategy. These 3 indicators we're looking at. It is called triple trend. So that means 3 indicators we're going to be using. It is a binary option for expirations of 2 minutes. Same goes for digital as well. If you're going to be using it on digital options, then the candlestick frame is 15 seconds that we're going to set on our asset we're trading on. Indicator 1 is the ATR stops, trailing stops. We're going to use it on default setting. Indicator 2 is the Kaufman moving average, again on default setting. And then the third one is the indicator called QStick. This one we are going to adjust it to 7 periods, where on the automatic one, on the default, it is normally 10. We're going to make a little change to that one to be on 7. So guys, make a little screenshot right now if you do plan on testing this out before the actual webinar itself is going to be sent out to everyone who signed up for this webinar. Remember, whenever you do sign up for a webinar, sign up with your IQ Option email, the same one you have on your IQ Option account. So within about a week's time, you're going to receive a recording of the webinars. You can watch it as many times as you like, so you can master anything that you may have missed. So make your screenshot of this just to have this if you are planning to use this in the next few days. Okay, waiting a few more seconds just to make sure you all have the opportunity to get the screenshot in. And if somebody missed it or comes later, we can come back to this later on as well. Okay, ingredients. This is what it will look like, guys. Once you have set up the 3 indicators, you'll see the comma, the purple line. It normally comes out in a light blue. We changed it to purple here to make it look a bit more clearer on the line, so you can see it a lot more visible. So Kaufman adaptive moving average, default settings. ATR trailing stops on default settings. That would be this red and green line that runs along the charts. And then the third one is the QStick on 7 periods on the bottom here, showing us with little changes in direction where the market is heading. All of them are now indicators that show us the trend. So this is a trending strategy. How to use 3 trending indicators to get a strong signal. Mr. Anthony Obi asks, does indicator work? Sure, they do work. There's no guarantee ever that it's 100% that'll work 100%, but they are better to be used than not used. That's what the experts always say. You're better use an indicator than not use one and trade with your emotions only, because very rarely you're going to get good results, Anthony, if you're not using an indicator. If you're just going with your emotions and your feelings, markets don't really move on our feelings. I might want the market to go up, doesn't really mean it is going to go up, right? Okay, so moving along. First, we're going to take a look at the Kaufman's adaptive moving average. So the comma price is below the trend. This means the market is bearish. So we can see the moving line here. The chart is now under, the line is above it. It does switch at this point. The markets come above here. But at this moment right here, this is a sign that the markets are bearish. And we can see here, the longer the distance away, the more the confirmation the market is in a bearish movement. And then when it switches around and the comma comes underneath the markets, then it is a bullish signal, a bullish trend. There's the little arrow as well to indicate that. So very, very simple one. This one, it's showing us the overall trend movement. Okay, comma is considered one of the most reliable moving average options to use for entering a prevailing trend. So the overall trend. This is a long trend. Very, very useful to have. Next one is the ATR Trailing Stop Indicator. This one is, again, an indicator that shows us where the trend is going, as well as mentioned. That's the moment we are looking for. Once we see the market breaking through the ATR from down to up, this is an upward signal, an upward trend signal. And then from the other way down, when it's breaking from above to below, that's the opposite, as we can see here as well. When the price crosses above the ATR trailing stop, trend changes into bullish. Keyword here is changes. We are looking for the change here. So same goes on here as well. It changes, it breaks through the line. So this is another very good signal. And again, ATR trailing stops is considered one of the most reliable indicators to identify small trend changes and reversals. Changes, again, the word we're looking for is changes. When we're trading, we're looking for that moment when it changes direction. If the market is in an upwards movement and then it changes to downwards, that's a very nice entry point. If we can have 1, 2, or 3 indicators showing us exactly when the trend changes, then we got a very good chance of having a successful trade if we do nail the timing perfectly. We're going to see some nice examples on the live account soon, and I'm hoping that you guys will be happy with that. So third one, QStick. As mentioned, we're going to change it from 10 to 7, and this is what it looks like here on the bottom. The QStick is changing from red to green, and it shows us basically when the trend is changing. So as we can see here, when QStick crosses below the 0 line or becomes red, the trend is considered as bearish. As we can see here, it was green, then it comes to the 0 line, turns to red, so it's showing us now that the trend has changed into a downward trend, a bearish trend. The arrow here shows as well the market did do exactly that move. It was trading up there, slowly dropping all the way to the bottom point here where a support can be drawn, and you can say that this is the low point. At this moment as well, it starts retracing back up again, and here it crosses. So what happens when it crosses there? Simple. The QStick is crossed above the 0 line or becomes green. The trend is considered now a bullish trend. So we have a signal again here that the market is hopefully going to rebound and go up. That's exactly what happens. We see a big, big candle with a massive wick there as well. Then afterwards, an uptrend does kick off. QStick is a special indicator that excels in identifying or confirming the prevailing trend. Again, we can see together with the QStick and together with the comma and the ATR, all 3 of them work for exactly the same thing, showing us the trend, the change in the trend, and the prevailing trend. So very, very good setup, the 3 of them. I saw one comment with a glance of my eye about my orange t-shirt. This is my Dutch pride. I have Dutch roots, so orange represents my Dutch side of the family. Just a little side note. Okay, identifying a bearish trend, very important. The ATR, the comma, alone is very good for showing that, because we can see a very clear line, and if it's above the market, then it is the overall major trend. So first is the comma. As we can see, it is above all along. The market is down here, so that is the first signal. Also, the ATR is below the comma, so this makes it even stronger. We have 2 perfect situations here. ATR is below the comma, so we can see the overall trend is negative, and we can say the ATR, is below as well. So we have 2 very strong indications here from these 2 lines that the trend is a downwards trend. Okay. Third thing here, the QStick becomes red when the minor trend continues to into the direction of the main trend. There it is. You can see up 1, 2, and 3 moments down there as well. There is a bit of a jump or a change, and we're going to take a nice look at these 3 moments right now. Right, so price is below comma, major trend is bearish. This one is confirmed very, very easily, as we mentioned. The line is above. Then second one, the price crosses and closes below the ATR trailing. So this is the candle right here that we're looking at. It'll be highlighted for you right now, that one right there. It crossed over, the market was trading above the ATR, then it crosses through. You can see it clearly passes through the green line here. That's the candle that is more like the alarm should be ringing at this moment, that, oh, there's a good opportunity coming here. ATR is below the comma, signal 1. ATR is crossing through the line, signal 2. So now we should start to look down here at the third part, which is the QStick. And this one as well. This one does cross. It was green. Now it's turning to red. That's the third signal. So we're going to trade not on this moment. If you are to use this, the moment to trade is on the next candle. As soon as the next candle opens, right there, that's the selling point. This is where the setup gives us the signal for the trade on that second moment. And as we mentioned, this is a setup good for 2 minutes binary trading. So we're using 15-second candles. The expiration of the trade would normally be 8 to 9 candles afterwards. So we placed our trade on exactly this candle up here on the top. That will be 1 candle, 15 seconds, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This candle there might be the end of our trade, or perhaps this bottom of this candle there. So regardless, the red line here shows when the trade would have been placed in. So both of these trades would have been narrow, but they would have been winning trades if it was to be placed at the time. Another example, this is a second way how to use the setup. Very similar to the first one, it is below the comma. So that's the first signal we get. Market is down here, comma is up there. That's the first signal. Second one we can see here now, there's a push off. The market was under. So this one here, let's say we did win that trade there when it crossed over. At this moment, it touches the ATR and it bounces lower again. So once it does that and bounces lower, when it closes at this moment down here, we can see as well what happens with the QStick. It jumped to green, but then straight away it came back to red again. So once we saw it push off from the ATR, the next candle right there, that's our go. So as soon as this candle here opens, it would have been basically at this moment here where we're showing as well, down here on the bottom where the candle opens. That would be the go signal. And then again, if we count 8 or 9 candles after, that would be the first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, all of them. Look, the market just stays under it for a long time. So anything, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute trade would have been a successful one in this window. So it was a very, very good signal there. And there's one more opportunity, guys. Let's see who can identify the third one. Anyone see it anywhere? Is it here, 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 here? Somebody who's noticed it? Hopefully some of you have noticed it already. Here it is, this moment there. Price is still below the comma. ATR crosses below the ATR, so that one there, we can see it opened above. Next candle is more or less below it. So the closing of that candle confirms that it has switched under the ATR again. QStick as well, perfect timing. It ends the green, starts turning red. So we have 3 very, very, very good signals. Next candle that opens, the top of this nice red one here, that's our go signal. And again, if we look at all the candles that follow, all of them are underneath the red dotted line. So again, this would have been a very, very nice opening opportunity. Very simple. Guys, again, if you want to make a screenshot, you can go ahead and make a screenshot of this just to have this information here. QStick time frame, that would be 7, Sandro. You're asking the QStick, it is 7. The other ones are default. QStick is on 7. And I see Johnny has answered to you as well. Thank you, Johnny, for helping. Okay, that's this for this slide. Now, I'm going to show you on the live account what it's going to look like, how they're going to set these up. Wrong side, there we go. All right, so I have things already set up on binary, Euro USD, 15-second candles. As we said, we're going to do a 2-minute expiration. So that will be 2-minute expiration there. Amount, I'm going to try to do something with money management just in case I do have an option to do a trade. So I'm going to do 3% trade. That will be around $9 per the trade if I'm using around 3% on my trading amount balance. Right, now we're going to go ahead and show how to do the setup. Oh, I see some love. Really love the efforts, Angelo. Oh, very sweet. Thank you very, very much. Okay, so back to focus. First we're going to do is we're going to find our indicators. Comma. That's right, comma. There it is. Adaptive change. No changes to the periods. All as it is. Color of display. I'm purple for you guys. You can see it a lot more than the light blue that normally is. Draw the lines nice and thick so they're nice and visible. There it is. Second one I'm going to go for is the ATR. And we can see there's 2 of them. There's one in the popular and there's one in the trend. We want the trend one. So make sure you're choosing this one, not this one. Not the blue one, but the trailing stops. Clicking it, not changing periods, leaving it on default. Going to the colors. Green and red is fine for me. Just want to make it nice and wide for you guys to see. And there it comes as well. We can see this was looking a bit dodgy, just jumping all over the ATR. So that's not the greatest of signals from this, as I can see straight away. And the third one, QStick, there it is. And here we're going to change it from 10. We're going to make it 7. And thickness and everything, I'm going to keep that as is fine. It's down here, looks perfect down there. So now I have it. There's my 3 indicators, all working nicely together. Something that many of you may not know, a very good little trick you can do. You can save this. Once you have added them in, there they are, the 3 indicators I have. Just go to the added. You can see here, save indicator template. You can save this so you can have it for another time. Type in a name. I'm going to call it trending trio and save. So trending trio is locked in now. If I am going to choose something else, use a different strategy, and then I want to switch to this one, I can always just click here, trending trio, and they will appear. Another good thing to do is always, whenever you're trading on binaries or digitals, look for the assets with the highest profits. It's important. It's part of money management. As I can see here, there's quite a few that give me 87% profit. That is very, very good. So I have my Euro USD already. I'm going to add the GBP. As you can see, it comes in with my setup and the timeframes as I have on the original one. That's fine. Let's go with Euro JPY as well, just for the example. And Australian Canadian. Let's go with that one too. So here's another little trick. Instead of just watching one asset and having to click from one to the other and back and forth, you can just go here on the multi-chart, put it on 4, and now you have all 4 of them. Double check to make sure the amounts you have are correct, the expirations are all correct, the time frames are all correct. And once you're happy with everything, you are just simply waiting for an opportunity to go for a trade. Once you get comfortable with the setup, you will mainly be very, very fast with it. I always like to keep an eye first on the QStick to see what's going on. If it's coming close to a switch around, then I can go in for it. Canadian one here did do a bit of a switch there. So let's focus in on that one. Okay, so ATR is above the comma. So this is showing me that it's an upward trend. This one here has, there was a break under here. If this one breaks over, that will be a nice little opportunity here. But the switch has happened already. So it has to happen really fast. If it doesn't, it's not the perfect opportunity. Let's keep an eye on that one, but look at Euro USD as well. This one crossed under, but it is above. So this is not a good signal. This one would have some good moments as well. Let's go back a little bit and see if we can find some good opportunities here where the market does show us a nice little trend or a nice opportunity to buy into a trade. What we're looking for, as we mentioned, it has to be a crossover that happens above the ATR, the comma. So the comma has to be under, the crossover has to happen above it. Ugh, there we go, perfect. Look at this one. Look at this perfect opportunity here. Here's the comma underneath. There's the ATR above the comma, so we know it's an upward movement trend that we're expecting to see. And there's the QStick at this moment. So the candle breaks over the ATR. Next candle here is above it. So this is the confirmation one. This is the entry point. But exactly on this one, we can see it does go from red to green. The switch happens more or less on that moment. So we get the QStick confirmation. We have the ATR confirmation. Karma is looking very good down there. So as soon as this candle opens right here, that will be our buy signal. And 15 seconds on the first one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It always stalls up. So a 2-minute trade on this one would have been a beautiful trade, a beautiful one. This moment here, not so good. This does cross under, but don't forget the first part of it is the comma and the ATR. These are not in lines. This one had to be under the comma for it to be considered as a signal. And there's no QStick cross anyway, so it's nothing there. Going a bit further back, there must be some more opportunities because Euro USD is one of my favorites because it has lots of opportunities, good ones. Okay, let's see. I think there must be something more because it is big trend movements. Okay, this one again, it's under. So this does have a nice little switch around here at this moment across, but the first signal is missing. So we don't have that one. This here looks interesting, although QStick doesn't give us anything there. There are opportunities, as we can see. There's lots of opportunities. This another lovely one here, as you can see, perfect with the QStick as it crosses. Market was under the ATR, above the comma, both of them. So that's a good one. There's the little crossover. First one confirms. This candle would be the go point. Would be a bit tighter, this one. We get the confirmation of perfect timing as well. So let's say on the top of this candle is the entry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So on the bottom, more or less, of this candle would be the end. It would have been a very tight trade, but it would have been a winning trade. So another good moment here with this one. Okay, let's just go back to the multi-chart just to see if we can perhaps maybe get lucky and find something to show on the live. ATR is above, as we can see here, above the comma, so that's not really great. Again, it's above the comma, so although it is switching under, it did happen early. What's going on with the Euro USD? Above, so that one is negative, that cross there. It has to come under for it to be good. Perhaps here, Euro JPY. See, it did switch to green already. Let's blow this up onto a main screen here, because the comma is above, market is below comma, coming above the comma. If I see it breaking above here, that would be a good signal. Although the green has happened already, it could still come around. Ooh, Mr. Sathis has a very nice comment there. Please do an in-depth market analysis on the Ukraine-Russia tension. That is a very good subject, very good subject. I really hope myself it doesn't come to blows, because that would be tragic for the global economy. But just off the top of my head, that would be causing a lot of chaos, wouldn't it? A war between Russia and the US, NATO, that would be massive. China already has shown some support towards Russia with some peace treaties they have. So that is a very interesting subject. We are going to have a market update coming up on the 4th of March. It will be about the Japanese yen and Microsoft. So we'll see. We might be able to throw something in there about the tension if it does continue to escalate. Okay, so nothing really going on here, guys. I can't really show you any live examples of this. I don't want to be showing you any examples where I don't get a full clear signal on all three of them. ATR is below, ATR is above. Nah, doesn't really look like something so great right now. But anyway, cool. That's what we have on this setup here. How to set them in. Remember that one, guys. Where to find each indicator. Easy and simple. You just go to indicators and you find the ATR default, comma default, QStick. You're going to change it to 7. Then you're going to go to save template and you're going to save it into any name you want. You can name it a TT, triple trend, trending indicators. And the setup, as we mentioned, it is 2 minutes expiration, 15 seconds each candle you're looking at. So this has to be on 15. The trading expiration here can be 1 or the 2 minute one. So 1 minute, 20 seconds are available to trade here if I find a moment to. And it's a nice little setup. Just be patient. Don't rush it. Wait to get all 3 signals perfectly. As we showed before with the Euro USD, we want to see a perfect moment where all 3 are showing us a great entry point. Has to be all aligned. Above or below the ATR for above the ATR and comma for an upward movement. Below the comma, the movement has to happen down here for a down one. Just try to find again an example to go back to. So yeah, this one, for example, is absolutely beautiful. Not sure this is the same one we showed before, but that's the one there. You want to see this movement happen above the comma. The ATR is above the comma. Crossover happens. This candle confirms it. This candle is the open trade. Perfect timing with the QStick, and all of that movement is what we catch. And it'll close somewhere here, the trade, and it'll be a beautiful winning trade. Okay, so yes, this covers this part. Now, I think that's what we have to show so far. Don't remember anything else that we need to show at this stage. So we're going to switch back to the presentation again. And I think this just leads us to the Q&A part. Right, so let's see. I'm hoping that my moderators have collected some questions for me. And we'll be able to answer your questions. There's my face and my orange colored neck, as someone has mentioned. And let's see what questions you may have. My moderators have, I hope, collected some questions for me. There was, I hope, the poll sent out as well. If you have liked the presentation, or if you don't like it, you can definitely give us our feedback there. Any ideas, suggestions for future webinars, as we had a bit earlier from very nice suggestion about the tension with Ukraine and Russia. That's a very good subject. So let's see what you guys have sent over on the questions. Ooh, I see lots of them. Let's see how many of these we can answer in the time of the webinar. Okay, starting from the top. Let me just adjust my camera a little bit. Right, better. Anthony, does indicators work? I mentioned what it does and how to use them. Mosembo Oro, I can't find comma. Okay, Mr. Oro, you can't find a comma. Very easy. Let's just open a new one here. Indicators. Best thing always just to type it in. Go KMA. There it is. Comma, adaptive moving average, comma. It's in the moving averages. So if you want to find it manually, you're just going to go to your indicators. Let's take that away, the other way to find it. You're going to go to your moving averages, and there it is. No. Moving average, lost squares, Kaufman. There we go, comma. In the moving averages. Oh, you can't see me. 1 second, I'm not showing this. Yeah, so yeah, you just need to go to your indicators. You're going to go to your moving average. We're just going to type in comma. Kevin joined late. Didn't get this. You know what, Kevin? Give me 1 second. This is for Kevin and for anyone who joined late. Let me just go to the presentation and share this with you. 1 second, guys. Maybe somebody joined late and want to catch up with this. Give me 1 second, please. Correct one, yes. And 1 sec. Should be coming on now. Okay, the setup. This is for anyone who joined the webinar late and missed this part, or anyone who missed making a screenshot. This is the setup. This is the setup we have for this trio of indicators. Okay, anybody didn't get this before, go ahead and make your screenshot of it right now. I'll just move my mouse out of the way. So first one is the ATR on default, comma moving average on default, and the third one is the QStick on 7 periods. It's changing this one from 10 to 7. Make the screenshot, guys. Okay, everybody got it? I hope. Yep. Recording, so Datasoy is asking about the recording. As long as you have used your email address that you use on your iQoption account, you will receive the recording of this webinar. So that will happen in about a week's time. You will be emailed the recording. Okay, that's that for there. And let's go back to the questions that were sent over. I believe I do have a bit more time to answer a few more questions, and the recording will then end. And then we might have some time to answer some questions of the traders on the live chat who came and joined this webinar live. Something to look forward to for future traders. If you do come to a webinar, you will be able to get some of your questions answered. So, what time frame is needed for this? So yeah, time frames, it works on binary, digital, 15 seconds intervals on the candles, and 1 minute, 2 minute is the one we showed. But you can also use this for longer time frames. If you're going to do, for example, 4 or 5 minute trades, you just need to double the time frames of your candles. You can adjust that to 30-second candles, and you're going to be executing your trades on 4 or 5 minute expiration. If you're doing forex trading for hours on end, then again, adjust it accordingly. If you're trading 1 hour, for example, then you'll be looking at 15-minute candles, or 10-minute candles, even more accurate. So very, very, very easy. Let's see. So some Mr. Santosh here has said that hasn't joined the webinar from the beginning. I'm sorry he missed the webinar there. What is the setting on comma? The question from Mr. Mohammed Hassin. This one was easy. It was a 7. The setting on comma, you adjust. No, comma, you leave on default. You don't move it. Just leave the comma as it is. The QStick is the only one we change. What is comma ATR setup, please? Default. Both are default. Tiravaram asked this one. So yeah, default setting on both of them. What indicators are ranging market? Well, For ranging market, very good question, this one by Victor here. Ranging market is something that is not really suitable for this. You can use support resistances for a ranging market. Fibonacci lines, very, very, very good one for a ranging market. If you don't know how to use Fibonacci, great news. That will be one of the webinars we're bringing up in the upcoming webinars. Then candlestick patterns is another one we're looking at. Many traders have been asking for this one. So we're going to take a first step into looking at how to trade with the candlestick, known also as naked trading. So that's coming up in the next month, next couple of months. So do keep tuned for that. Check your emails for the invitations for the webinars always. Okay, what time is it? 33. Time for one more question. Okay, Mr. Domingo asks, how can you determine a trend market from a ranging market with this strategy? Well, you could mainly see it from the naked eye. You can see if the market is going downwards or upwards. Clearly, it's a trend. The comma will be the first one to show it to you. We'll just put the comma in. You'll see if the market is steadily below the comma, it's a downtrend. If the market is above the comma, it's an upward trend. And if the market is zigzagging up over and under the comma all the time, then it's a ranging market. And that's not the perfect time for the setup. If you do see that, the asset you're following is just bouncing up and down over the comma, then I would say just switch over to a different currency pair. You might find it in a better range or better indicator opportunity where market is in a trend. And if you want to trade on a specific asset, but it is in a ranging market, just switch your indicators. If you do know how to use support resistances, if you know how to use the Fibonacci lines, other good ones, I would say Bollinger Bands and RSI are very good. CCI is very good also for that. So there's lots and lots of options. We have made lots of webinars already on different indicators. So if you do have an account manager, ask your account manager to send over to you a link where you can watch that video again. And if you don't have an account manager, if you're not VIP, then of course you can ask our support team and they can share the links with you for the videos on the previous ones we've made. Okay, so right, that is the answers we have here now for this presentation. 35-minute presentation, more or less. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found the information here useful. And that's it. Thank you very much for attending. Looking forward to see you again the next time, which will be on the 4th of March. And it will be a market in-depth analysis look. Have a wonderful day and good luck with all your trading.